outdoor camera, and she's going to very slowly pan around, and show our building, and then show what's happening on the street. These are all people cheering for the healthcare workers. Today, we're going to have a show around medical questions. So this is a chance for you to talk to a doctor, but also a chance to cheer and thank all the doctors, nurses, health aid workers, everybody in the hospital system. So we're so grateful to our doctors for being with us here today. And you're looking at the Upper West Side of Manhattan. You're looking a little bit at New Jersey. You're looking into the Hudson River. And Rupa, who's not a professional camera woman, is doing a fabulous job right now of showing us the Upper West Side. And I'm going to ask the doctor to just speak as she looks at this and she hears the cheers. Dr. Gorusu, how do you feel as you're listening to this?
Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, this is, I think it's great that people are able to say thank you to the doctors and everybody in the healthcare system. Jonathan's watching from the East Village right now, and you can hear the sound. I'm going to just be quiet for a minute so everybody can hear. And if you're watching right now, please hit share. Please tag your friends. Tell them that we're going to be talking to doctors so you can get your questions in. There's so much we need to talk about, but this is your chance. Chakoti is watching from San Francisco. Thank you, Chakoti. And Geeta is watching from Memphis. Thank you, Geeta. Please tag your friends. Share with your friends. There's somebody right now who would benefit. Hit like right now so your friends and family can join. And we really appreciate your being with us right now. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing. We have our doctors are coming in, and we have two of them who are going to be talking to us. We have Dr. Madhavi Gorusu, who is here. She's an MD and an MBA, and she is a hematologist as well as a oncologist, and she's the chair of AAPI's plasma donor program, and we'll talk about AAPI in a couple of minutes. We're also joined by Dr. Vandana Agarwal, who's an MD and an FACP from LA, and she's on the board of counselors of the USC School of Gerontology. So we have physicians from the East and West Coast. Please tag your friends. Please ask your friends to join us. Please share with your friends right now. This is so cool that they are with us. We want to tell everybody that we also have a sponsor that is connected to the healthcare business because they are frontlinefoodtrucks.com. Frontline Food Trucks, they're feeding the doctors and nurses at NYU Langone, and they're trying to raise $500,000 so that they can donate food and also support frontline food truck owners. So basically the New York Food Truck Association. Please share with your friends and family right now on Facebook, on Twitter. If you can go to Frontline Food Trucks and make a donation, it will be very welcome. They have donations from La Colombe, Sweet Green, and Chobani. And a third-party donor has donated this ad. So not a single penny goes away from the food truck effort to fight COVID-19 by helping our doctor friends and our nurse friends and our administrators and healthcare workers. And this is how you can become a sponsor. We have a sponsorship program, Sree at sree.net. You can see very reasonable ads. In fact, too reasonable, somebody said to me. But if you don't have something you want to promote, but you want to help us and help a nonprofit or anybody you like, look how easy it is. So please do support frontlinefoodtrucks.com, and please email me, Sree at sree.net. We'd love to have your support. Now, enough and time for me to bring on our doctor who is with us here right now. And please say hello to Dr. Madhavi Gorusu. How are you, ma'am? How are you?
Oh my God, don't ma'am me.
Okay.
Madhavi is pretty good. Yes, I'm very well. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I ask everybody who joins our show, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How is your day-to-day affected by all of this? Please share.
So, oh boy, that's a very long question, and it'll be a long answer.
It's okay.
But the bottom line is that we are, when I say we, as a humble representative of the healthcare personnel, I think we are holding it very well to the best of our abilities. And I do not think it is a one-man show by no means. I think we are all in this together. The hospitals, the individual private practices, physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, our medical assistants, our lab personnel. I mean, sincere hats off and kudos to each and every one of us who's doing such an amazing job in these unprecedented, so to speak, scary times. So we are holding in there, and every day is a challenge. By no means I'm going to make it look like it's an easy job, but I think we are all in this together, holding hands and helping each other and helping our patients. So that's what we are here for.
What has been most surprising to you, doctor, in these 1 month or so of challenge, maybe even more than that?
Well, first, let me talk about the positive things and the kind of the unknown. I guess everyone in the world is trying to grapple the gravity of the situation. What surprised me, and it continues to surprise me as an oncologist, is the strength that our patients have and that amazing strength of endurance our patients have and their belief in the healthcare system. And I do not think even a single day any one of our my associates, my co-doctors, my nurses, my nurse practitioners, my medical assistant, nobody showed their back to this. So they're trying their very best. And the strength, going back to what you said, Srini, what surprises me the most amazing is the strength as human beings and as healthcare providers that we have in rallying through this intense, serious times is the most surprising thing. The uncertainty obviously has to all of the world, I guess, like, how did this happen? Were we all kind of prepared? I guess nobody was, but it's not like this happens every so often, so that we would be prepared. But again, I'm a person who looks at half glass full, and I still am amazed by the rapid evolution that has taken place. The FDA, the plasma donors, the pharma companies, the state government, all together, how they are rallying up to support, I guess, is pretty amazing.
And that's great. Thank you, doctor, for sharing that. We put your name on the screen so people can know Dr. Madhavi Gorusu. She's an MD MBA. So tell us about that. That's doubly dangerous. You understand the business side also. I don't know if she's having trouble. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Can you please come again with that?
No, I was just saying about your MD and an MBA. Tell us about that.
Oh my God, that's a long story. Well, I'm in private practice. So 3 years into my private practice, I thought, like, time for me to go back to school and learn more about the business. Because whether uh, one accepts or not, to be successful in this day and age of the healthcare, you need to be very, very savvy to understand the nuts and bolts of how the processes, where the money is, making sure that your practice is staying afloat, even if not superly profitable. And if you are not staying over the ground, so to speak, how can you give the service to the patient? So these all were the things that made me look into I should go back to school. But well, it was only around like 10 years into my practice. You know, we all have to take our 10 years boards recertification. When I was getting ready to send in my application for the exam, it dawned on me like, oh my God, 10 years of my life has passed away. And still it's in my dreams, my to-do list. And believe it or not, The very same month, I sent my board certification exam application, as well as I sent in my MBA application. And I started my executive MBA. I was a very good student, went back to school in the regular format of attending classes in person, and I did my executive MBA from UConn School of Business. Oh boy, I enjoyed it every minute. The amazing company of the my classmates, and how I could bring that back to my practice. And it's not just that three-letter degree at your name side. It changes the way that you look at the world, a problem, how many solutions that you can come up with a particular problem. So it was an amazing journey.
And what are some of the things you learned that you use on a regular basis?
So in addition to the problem solving part is several things, like even from simple things like marketing, let us say, how important it is for people to know, Shreen, like what you are doing now. It's not just important you being good. People should know what good you are doing, so that the word spreads and many people can be benefited out of it. So even though I'm talking as that good intention part, so that's how it should be, the good intention along with your business acumen, for you to be spreading the good what you're doing, and it in turn helps your business to be practice, your organization, however you call it, to be sustained, successful, and grow further. Because we are all in for helping our patients, and you need to be successful. So that is one aspect of that I could immediately think about, the marketing part. And to understand how the value of the dollar today versus dollar next month, when they teach about the net present value in the MBA, oh boy, didn't it make a lot of sense? So, it helps you a lot in kind of thinking different about your accounts receivable. And so I, it's amazing. It's amazing that, in fact, my high school senior kid is now making a choice between Amherst College or NYU Stern School of Business. And I think she was hugely impressed by the dean when she went for the college tour. How the dean explained how business is the fabric of every walk of life. That is so true. So my husband was so impressed with the dean's lecture he recorded and shared that with me. I felt like a little bit chuckling, because when I say as a mother, day in and day out, the amazing things that didn't come across to my daughter. But when the dean of a Stern School of Business said, she said, wow. So, that's how much influence I have on my child.
I think, yeah. And you said you have one 17-year-old. I have two 17-year-olds. So we'll talk about this later. You mentioned Amherst College. I just want to say that we had a terrific conversation on the Sunday read along that we do. And we had Harlan Coben join us. Harlan was this #1 best-selling author of the New York Times this week, and he's also a wonderful filmmaker, creator of 2 Netflix shows, Safe and Stranger, and it's really worth checking out all the things he does. And he spoke on Sunday morning, where many of you know I read the New York Times out loud Sunday morning, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. And you can find the recording on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on my YouTube is the best place to find it, because it's all in one place. So I encourage you to go onto YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube. That way you'll be able to know when all my shows are live, and also you can go back and look at the videos. So if you're just joining us, that's Dr. Madhavi Gorusu, who has come and is kind enough to share some time with us. And if you're watching, please hit share, please tag your friends. And I'm just going to read to her some of the great comments that have come in, people all over the world. Here's Martin watching from Riverdale in the Bronx. Sophia is watching in Wisconsin. Steve is watching in Philadelphia. Stefan is in New Jersey. Kalpana is watching in the West Coast, which is cool. Susanna's watching in Mexico. And she says, I totally agree with Dr. Gorusu. So that's great. Even if your daughter doesn't always agree, you've got other fans who now will agree. Joe Apio is watching in Georgia, where they've extended the stay in place. And I would like to ask you about stay in place. And Kalpana is watching from Saratoga, and Paula is watching from Tallahassee. So great kind of conversation we're having. People around the country are with us. So Doc, let me ask you about that specifically, the importance of social distancing, and how do you think it's working so far? What can we continue to do? What should we continue to do?
Yeah. So I cannot emphasize enough the extreme importance of social distancing. That's the only way that we can let this peak of this pandemic settle down. Because until we have an effective remedy, be it a vaccine, be it an antiviral drug, or the supportive treatments more effective, the only tool, kind of what we have at this time, is social distancing. So please, please, and please follow it like your life depends on it. And I
Because it may,
think
right?
it
Because it
has,
may depend on it.
yes, absolutely. And it's not just your life, right? And there are many vulnerable people around you. Like when I see my patients, the cancer patients who are immunocompromised, it is utmost care that we are taking to because we are trying to avoid any non-essential treatments or visits to the patients, but there are patients that who need treatment that need to continue. So and they are, I mean, amazing. They do everything that is told to them, but it's not just what they do, right? It's the society around them, what they do as well. And so when you are thinking about the vulnerable, be it elderly, other medical comorbidities, or in my favorite part is my love towards my cancer patients. It's like we all need to think several times, because it's not just only your life, it's others' lives, which depend on how carefully we are following the social distancing.
And do you find that people are, because especially when you listen to some people on TV, they're sounding like people are getting bored. It's too hard to do this. So let's speed it up and let's go back to business as usual.
Well, I guess I'm not blaming that very basic human nature to be free. Nobody likes rules and regulations, but these are the testing times. And yeah, until we have much more positive uh, path that we can see, I think we all need to stay put and follow what is being recommended, the social distancing, very much so.
Yeah, and what are the other things that we can do? How important are the masks, for example? And there's been different directions around masks, right? First they said you don't need it, and then they said you need it. Can you talk about that, please?
First thing, don't put your hands on your face like just what I did. Don't do that. The masks are, yes, agreed. Nobody knows. It's not like we have seen this pandemic day in and day out that, oh, how come they gave one recommendation and now it is different? It's not that. So let's be forgiving and need to do what we need to do. So definitely wearing a mask is required, especially when you are in the outside. And like in our treatment centers, we absolutely follow very strict guidelines that where patients are coming, that we are wearing the protective gear, because it's not just you protecting yourself, it's you are protecting others too. So in that, how much ever we try to limit our grocery shopping or whatever it is, like when I go and do my grocery shopping, when I have to, like one place I go to, Trader's Joe, and amazing place. I have no investment interest. I'm just telling the facts that what I have seen is the masks and the social distancing that they're carefully following. And so everybody is taking it pretty serious. Well, you can always say that hindsight, you are 2020, and say that, well, we should have followed these all before. But I think going forward now and tomorrow, if we follow all these guidelines of social distancing, masks, and extreme careful hand washing, and follow, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with being a little bit extra careful, is how I would look at this.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Doctor, do you mind if we can center the phone a little bit? I know you're holding the phone. If you can just put it, there you go. Much better. Thank you. I know that people are also confused about the word social distancing. And so our friend who's watching right now, Stefan Kaplan, says, I'm going with physical distancing. We need to be separate physically, but not socially. In fact, they're coming together more and more and connecting now in ways than ever before. Stay home, save lives. What do you think of that?
I cannot agree any more. I 100% agree. So, well, let's not change the terminology social distancing, what it meant. But these are the times. And I can tell you that, like, I'm sure you as well, Sree, that probably my contact list has immensely increased on my WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Because for all the right reason, because, like, for example, with AAPI, the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, just go to their website. What an amazing job the leadership and physicians members are doing. How many initiatives? So it's like with every initiative, it's not like a one-man show or one-woman show. So it's this group of tremendous energy people that, I mean, you can, in those teleconference calls, in the WhatsApp discussion, the energy is just palpable. I'm like, how can I not be part of it? That is how. So the going to that social reaching while you are kind of distancing, I would say that in my small but not so small world, definitely my friends have increased or quadrupled, I should say. And I think, like, I have heard many wise uh, ways when my friends or acquaintances on Facebook post about, this is the time that, please reach out to that elderly member on your street who is probably so scared to come out, giving them a call and making sure that you have reached out to your friends, and just a simple hello, how are you, I am okay, these mean a lot during these times. So yes, definitely maintain the physical distancing, but be available.
I think that's really great, and thank you for sharing that. We're also showing everybody the website so they can see it. It's AAPIUSA.org, AAPIUSA.org, the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. And so this is people who are of Indian origin. It originally started as people who came directly from India, and some people were born in India, some people born here, but it's all about valuing the medical profession and the Indian connection that you all have. The organization was started in 1982, and so it has seen a lot of changes over time. Tell us how you are involved specifically. You're in a very important part of AAPI, right?
I do not know whether I can call myself very important, but so each state has chapters. So me coming from Connecticut, Connecticut Association, CAPI, of Physicians of Indian Origin, as a graduating fellow, I have become a member of CAPI, and I served in the EC executive committee team, then the secretary, then rose to the ranks to serve. There is nothing in like what you get; it's what you give. So my 2-year term as a CAPI president, it will end this summer. So through this, so as I said, different states have these chapters, and the at the national level is AAPI. So I have been uh, well in certain meetings and all, of course, have heard great things about CAPI, and but it was after I met at my med school reunion, one of the couple of leaders from AAPI, and they were pretty much stellar leaders, and I became a member of AAPI. But again, I believe very much in first setting your home right before you step out. So I focused very much on CAPI, and now that I'll be finishing my term, and it just kind of it fell in place with my more involvement with API. And again, as I said, I am a humble member. The leaders are doing everything, and through one of these, when you know how this COVID-19 epidemic is evolving, so there is nothing like a standard set treatment yet, as we all know. So, me being a hematologist, which is the blood specialty as well, being an oncologist as well, I was very interested or intrigued by when the more the studies started supporting the supportive role. Again, by no means I'm trying to at all indicate that it is the treatment, meaning the convalescent recovering patients plasma is the treatment. By no means, nobody has anything in written studies results or anything, but it's based on the clinical studies, small studies from China, where of course the epidemic has the pandemic has more so caught our attention. And also taking an example from the SARS and the MERS epidemic in early part of in the few years ago, where patients were supported with the plasma from the recovery patients. When the studies started coming up and we were hearing about families looking for, where to get the donors and things, then when I started getting more asking questions, learning more from our own Hartford Healthcare. And when I participated in the discussions, then the API president, Dr. Suresh Reddy, guided me through, why don't you take the lead for the plasma donation? So that is how it started. And it is remarkable camaraderie that API has. And all these brilliant physician leaders are joining hands, and we are pretty much, we gained momentum, and we are marching step by step for sure, progressing in the right direction of establishing a donor registry. So like what you say, divide and conquer. So my part at this time in this service for during the pandemic, I should say, I am focusing how I can support the RP's plasma donor drive. So doing my small part.
Thank you, Doc. Folks, if you have questions for Dr. Gorusu, please ask, write them in the comments, and we'll come to you wherever you're watching. We're live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, where Doug Levy is watching from San Francisco, and Pradnya Haldipur is watching from outside DC. So we're having people from all over the world. And look, my father is tuned in from Kerala in India. I don't know if you've been, Doctor, but yeah, he says he loves hearing about API because it was his favorite haunt for 10 years. He was a diplomat in America, so they would always be invited to all the talks and all that. I know he was once involved when Bill Clinton, as president, came to speak at API in New York many, many years ago. So let's get some of the questions in here. There's a question that came in asking about, let me just find it, where there's so many comments and questions, we're just trying to find it. One of our viewers is asking that, is increased heartbeat or really hard heartbeat, like, really fast, is that anything you should worry about with COVID-19? I think people have so many medical questions because they're not able to go to their regular doctors, and everyone's very nervous right now.
Right. So two ways to answer that. Increased heart rate can be indication of several things. Maybe serious, maybe not so serious. What I mean by that is, well, if a person is very anxious, yeah, possible. And those other, keeping those relatively not life-threatening things aside, a severe pain can cause the heart rate to go up. And at the same time, in this situation of relevant to this infection related, I think one needs to look at the entire picture, meaning that if the patient has any other symptoms, not just the increased heart rate, so it is any of the other symptoms together that would suggest an infection, I would not put the heart rate alone as an indicator for anything, but at the same time, not to ignore that either. And if a person has never had high heart rate, but right now something is not sounding right, you need to absolutely reach out to your physician. Regarding the second comment about that now it's not available, I have to tell you this. Your doctors are very much available. Thanks to the technology that we have, the telemedicine platform. So I'm those patients like whom I am not seeing because I do not have to bring them in. Definitely, I'm offering the service through the televideo visit. So, in fact, I would strongly encourage whoever has asked that question to please reach out to your physician. And you can always have a televideo visit or a simple telephone visit and have your queries answered. But do not let this settle like, oh, it's nothing, but at the same time, take it in the right context.
Thank you, Doctor. This is so helpful. Dr. Fauci has been an important force to educate the public. How do you think we can elevate doctors like yourself as visible leaders and educators of the public? A great question from Martin Englisher.
Well, that's what we are doing now. Thanks to Sree. I do not think I'll ever compare myself to the service Dr. Fauci is doing. Hats off to that gentleman.
79 years old, right? 79
to
years
that
old.
brilliant gentleman. But I think at the same time, each of our healthcare workers, yes, I am using the word healthcare workers. Yes, the doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, all of us is and are a hero. So I think not to sound like a very bland statement, yeah, everybody is trying to do their thing, and how to get in the public is, like what Sree is doing, or like what AAPI is doing on the websites. And you wouldn't believe the number of calls and requests that AAPI, there is a task force and the COVID online advisory group that they get. And what an amazing job these physicians do, going out of their way, using whatever platforms, the telemed platforms, what needs to be. So when we say that, how do we leaders or healthcare providers get that visibility? There are many ways. So just whether the word using an opportunity is the right context or not, I do not know. But use every avenue where you can be of help to others. And I think each small step leads to a huge journey.
Yeah, that's so well put. I find that so many doctors are not aware of the value of doing things like this, but the people at AAPI are really interested in having more doctors out there talking and sharing their information. Can you talk a little bit about your own practice and how are you adjusting? You're doing telemedicine. A lot of oncology is also looking people in the eye and kind of holding their hand as they deal with the diagnosis and the step-by-step. What are the shortcomings of telemedicine, and what are the better? Are there anything better than or almost as good as what you see in the regular way?
Well, I do not think any virtual technology, no matter how great it is, which by the way it is, can ever replace that human to human in person interaction. But having said that, the best of what we can do is, and these platforms are amazing. I mean, very good streaming, and very easy to use. There are always our elderly patients with limited technology savviness, so to speak. But for the most part, with the telemedicine, they're able to figure it out. So what we do in our practice is we are doing what is right for the patients. If they do not have to be brought in, definitely we are not bringing them in. But so what do we do then? We give them the instructions. The our staff calls them the day before, gets them ready how they need to use it and all. And they have the scheduled slots, like this is the time that the doctor is going to call you. And if for any reason I'm held up with another patient and we are running behind, our medical assistants, they're pretty good. They reach out to the patients and tell them that, hey, the doctor is running a little bit late, please bear with us, that kind of thing. And then through the platform, I guess different practices use different platforms. And I send them a text to their phone or through their email, and the video chat starts. And it has been going very well so far, and it's very, very well received by the patients, and so much of continuity of care. So so we are relying very much on that. But again, like what I said, cancer patients who are receiving treatment and whose treatments have to continue, we have to monitor them with for their side effects and those kind of things. So we bring them in. Our screening protocol is very robust. So we don't let any patient with any symptoms, so like what you must have seen in other healthcare facilities. So we check their temperature, we ask for there any symptoms, and we do not let any visitor to the treatment area. So we take our nurses, our staff take very good care of our patients, but to limit the exposure to other patients and all, we do not let any visitors to accompany like what we used to in those good old times, so to speak. So with all these precautions, that we are taking care of our cancer patients. And also I will tell, like, if there is a new consult, if it is a benign thing like that can wait, then I triage, and if it can wait. But there are times where it's a new diagnosis of a lung cancer or things. At least the first visit, I try to bring them in person and evaluate what needs to be done. But then on, we try to use our judgment how to use their visit if needed to, those kind of things. So going back to that oncology part, true, there's not much of that face to face, that proximity like an ophthalmologist. But of course, I have to listen to my patient's lungs, auscultate their heart, feel their belly, look for their leg swelling, that kind of things. So, but I mean, I wear proper protection, and most of my patients who are immunocompromised, they come with their masks and frequent hand washing, and so we are managing relatively well. And I'm so proud of our workflow at our practice, Starling Physicians, and we are all doing, the administrators are doing a great job. So I think it is everybody, it's like, holding each other's hand and rallying together, like what I said. So we are doing well as
Thank
much
you.
as what we can.
Thank you, Doctor. Can I get about 5-7 minutes more of your time? Because I know it's precious. You've got lots going on. Thank you so much. Arlene asked a very important question. I'll let you think about this for a minute, because I also want to remind people all the things we're doing. You can see the question. Folks, if you're watching right now, you have a chance to watch us on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube to SreeneT. That's my link YouTube channel. But also on Instagram, I have a camera here. Let me just show you. So this camera is showing what's going on behind the scenes. If anybody goes into Instagram Live right now, it'll also be pinned to my story later. But this is just to give you a little more sense of what's happening behind the scenes. And another thing we did was people asked me, when are you on? So tell us. So one of the things I did was I made a WhatsApp QR code. So if you're on WhatsApp right now, or you just have an iPhone right now, just point your iPhone at this symbol. Or if you know how to take a QR code with an Android, just point it, and you will get added to a WhatsApp group where you will get an alert every time I am live or I know something about my guests coming up. We have some terrific guests coming up, just like today, including one of Bollywood's biggest stars is going to be joining us in the next few days. The editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal is going to be joining us. So lots of exciting folks. And so if you join this WhatsApp group by pointing your camera, your iPhone at the screen right now, you can join, or you can join afterward as well, or just email me, sree@sree.net, if you would like to join my WhatsApp group. It's not a discussion group. It's only an announcement-only group. So just trying to learn, and we're all trying to figure out technology at the same time. So, Doctor, there was a very important question that came in. Arlene was saying that one of the greatest fears, some have said, is dying alone. We talked to a doctor live from Italy who said so many people in Italy are dying alone, and that is the biggest thing an Italian fears. I think it's the biggest thing anybody would fear. Please talk about that.
I don't think anyone in this world can ever make this question or answer be anything easy. But thanks for bringing that up. In this, I think the right way to answer this question is we are doing what is right for our patients. Having said that, but I have to tell you, the kind of the hospital staff that your loved one is surrounded by, I cannot find any other word to say that they are angels. Literally, they are such divine souls in human form. Just think about it. What it takes for a human being, understanding the risk that they are exposing themselves to be there for their patients. They're not just coming for their paycheck. Definitely not. It's what they have signed up for, their work ethics. And that service mentality, people that your loved ones are surrounded by, trust me, you're not alone. Having said that, who would ever imagine that there would be a day like this that we'll be talking about, where if time comes that, well, maybe I will die alone. So a couple of weeks ago, it just brings tears to my eyes, even thinking about the question that this couple asked me. They see me for not a serious issue, because most of my patients have really serious concerns. And so they came to see me because they absolutely wanted to keep the visit. And I was done with the visit, and they wanted to talk more. And I said, sure. And I was making myself comfortable, sitting and talking. They asked me about the same thing, that the husband and wife, they have been married for what? Some 60 years or so. They're in the right age. They said, we do not want to die alone, and we do not want to be death to be prolonged. And we do not, they say that they'll not have ventilators, will be left on the streets. And if the time comes, can you give me something that we both can die at home?
Oh, my God.
You wouldn't believe, I couldn't even cry, neither hug them. But I came out and cried. And so what I assured them was, listen, what the media, the news channels, what you are reading, what the intent of that is to educate you, to tell you what the important things are, social distancing, the right things, protection and all. But Sree, there is, for every positive thing, I think there is some negativity as well. The fear that it is sending the signal to the people is, especially these vulnerable families, patients, is a real thing. And what I told them was, I do not think the medical system will fail you. It hasn't failed, not yet. And I do not think it will come to that point that we will be. And I said, anything that you need, just call me. And they said, no, we are just good. And I made sure that they are not depressed. As a physician, I have to do what I have to do. I absolutely followed the protocol, ran that things, and I made sure that a social worker followed with them and all. But these are, very well educated, retired couple that when they ask that question, so it is like, I guess it is in the back of all of our minds. But the maybe I'm being so selfishly supportive of our hospital staff, but I'm it's who they are. They are wonderful. You are surrounded by the real gem of gem people, is in my honest opinion. So
Thank
we
you.
are all in this together. That's it.
Thank you, Doc. And on LinkedIn, Pradnya says Dr. Gorusu for Congress. She wants you to run for Congress. So that's I thought that was very sweet.
Oh my
Carolyn
God.
is watching from Hawaii. So if you want to say hello to Hawaii right now, you can do
Oh
that.
my God, Hawaii. Take me there.
Have you been?
No, no. That was
Okay,
on my
so
to-do things.
okay, to do things, right? So this question may have come up. Do you think medical health telecommunicating will become a more permanent fixture post-coronavirus? And are there pros and cons? You talked a little bit, but I think there's an interesting question.
Right. I think telemedicine is here to be here. I don't think after this epidemic it will just go away because there are many benefits of it. For example, let us say if I'm on call and on the weekend and somebody calls me with a rash or whatever that I need to take a look and I'm in the hospital, I need not ask my patients to go to the right away, run to the urgent care center. If in my comfort of, if I'm rounding in the hospital, if I can take a break, use my telemedicine platform to help my patient, isn't that a win-win scenario? So, I mean, that's one immediate example that I can think about. But I do not think telemedicine is just for the time being. It is to be here. And I think there are many, many benefits of it. But at the same time, do I think it will totally replace that physician to the patient interaction? Never. So it has its own very important value, but at the same time that it will not replace that human touch and interaction. I do not think so.
Okay, Doctor. I want to give you a chance to maybe give us a couple of final thoughts. And just to talk about AAPI one more time, the American Association of Physicians from India. You yourself were born in India and you came here. Talk about why there are so many Indian doctors in America, 80,000 of them. I saw a stat that's probably out of date, something like 10% of residents in American universities, medical schools are of Indian origin, whether first generation or second or third or fourth. Talk about Indians and medicine and how you look at that.
So probably there are, I would say, talent. We are very talented. Pat yourself on the shoulder, period. Because we are very hardworking and we have great work ethics and we are there for our customers. Why did I use the word customers? Because Sree, you are quoting the stats only about Indian physicians. But if you look at the other professions as well, there is a lot of Indian talented, smart, hardworking people. Why is that? It's because I think the value that we give to the education, discipline, and when you have that kind of sincerity, that work ethics, and where you bend backwards for your patients, what more do you need from a physician? Yes, you are smart, you are educated, and you are here for your patients. What more does your patient need? And I think that is the secret recipe of our Indian physicians to be successful. And coming from middle class or upper middle class background, as growing up, like to many of us, education is religion, right? I mean, we didn't even have a choice, that not in any bad way, but not that anybody forced us to do. I mean, that is what you are here for, to excel in your education and make yourself proud and make your parents proud. So I think it depends a lot on the family upbringing. And the other reason why I see that in many of the academic, I'm not just quoting about spelling bee or things. I mean, people can always say, oh, what's the value of spelling bee? Anyhow, leaving those discussions part, why do Asian kids probably excel is probably it's the same discipline what their parents were ingrained that that's it, education is religion. And once you imbibe that in your children, and that's going to feed you, what's wrong with that? Education is going to feed you and give you a good life. Nothing wrong with that.
Daryl says we should have Christmas in April, but no gifts, and Santa is on vacation in Trinidad. He's Trinidadian American, so he's saying that. Janet says, for the immigrant family, as in my family, education is vital. And Arlene says, thank you for sharing your insight, and please give a hug from me to the older couple you mentioned. We're all in this together. Thank you, Arlene. That's a beautiful comment. Farlan Chang is watching in Hong Kong or in somewhere in China. He's watching, and he says, bravo, appreciate your distinguished guests sharing their expertise to educate and inform. Thank you for your valuable public service. So you're getting this global hug right now, Doctor. Thank you so much for doing this. Before we let you go, I should tell you that I so appreciate your willingness after a long day of work at such short notice for jumping into this show and sharing this. And I hope more of your colleagues will come and participate, not just in this, but so many journalists and others want to talk to doctors. And we always want to talk to doctors, but I think there's so much confusion at this moment that's causing extra interest in these issues.
Thank you so much, Sree. Thank you. And thanks a lot for your lovely audience too.
Yeah. Thank you. So we'll send you the link so that you can share it on Facebook. But if you find me on Facebook, you can also share it. Thank you very much, Doctor. Folks, please do thank Dr. Madhavi Gorusu, who's a hematologist as well as an oncologist and an MD and an MBA. I say that she's a quadruple threat. She's based in Connecticut. Tell us the name of your practice. So if people in Connecticut unfortunately need your services in cancer care, where can they go?
Well, I'm with Starling Physicians, and ours is a multi-specialty group in Connecticut. And the main hospital I treat my patients is at Hartford Healthcare. And yes, I agree with Sree. I hope you will never need of services of an oncologist, but I'm one hell of a terrific doc. I'll take good care of anyone.
I love that. And one of the things I really admire is that you're confident and not, trying to have this fake shyness about it. So I love that. And I appreciate you. I salute you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. We are so grateful to you, Doctor. Thank you very much. We're going to let you step away. Sudha Parekh is saying her son, Neil, was legislative director for AAPI for 3 years in Washington, D.C. So a lot of people from the AAPI family here. Thank you very much, Doctor. We'll let you go and enjoy your evening, and good luck with everything. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Wasn't she amazing? Dr. Madhavi Gorusu, please do follow her, find her. If you know anyone who unfortunately needs this kind of care, please reach out to them and tell them about her in Connecticut. What a great energy she has, and what a great way of communicating and sharing her thoughts. I learned so much, and I know many of you did as well in this process. So what we're going to do now is we have a few minutes left. And one of the things I've been saying to all of you is that on these shows, we want you to try something, work on something. We are in a era where so many people are at home, they have a little extra time, or they're something short or quiet at work. So work on something. If it's the great American novel or great Indian novel, great Japanese novel, wherever you're watching from right now, that's terrific. But if you want to do something digital, there's been no better time to learn something digital than right now. I am learning using this platform, right? We're live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, live on Twitter. On all of these, I'm also showing you Instagram behind the scenes at SreeneT, so you can go in there and watch the behind the scenes. It's about to expire because they only allow 1 hour, so it's going to go off. But that's a way for me to learn. and that's why I'm doing this. I also, so many of you tell me you're uplifted by this show. I'm uplifted by you. So thank you so much for being here and being part of this. It means so much to me. I will tell you that one of the things that I'm trying to do is to learn how to use YouTube better, use Canva better, and to use the streaming technology better, and to use YouTube and learn how to do that. So one of the things I learned is that if we can give you more ways to find out when my shows are, then maybe more of you will be able to watch it. It's split over many times because I am, this is unpaid work right now, even though we have sponsors. We have a couple of sponsors. We're going to get more. And I'm very grateful to my sponsors for being here. But if you have a phone right now and you're watching this, just take a screenshot. Sorry, just point your iPhone or your Android and get this QR code, so you'll get an alert on WhatsApp from me when I'm about to go live, or when I know some programming. As I said, I have some fantastic guests coming up, including the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal. We have one of India's biggest Bollywood stars is going to come up in the next few days. We have a session on music that was going to have some fabulous people. We're going to have a session on the language of everything we're talking about. So it's going to be very, very interesting to know about my shows. One of the ways is just to email me, and the other is to use my WhatsApp alert. It's not a WhatsApp group, because we know WhatsApp groups can be filled with problems. This is an announcement only, where all I'll do is give you an alert. I also joked around and said, I'll also, if I get COVID, this is the first group I will tell. And somebody wasn't happy that I said it, but I said, you have to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you will cry. That's how bad this situation is. And Jonathan said he just used the barcode to sign up. Thank you, Jonathan. Look at you. And hello from Durham, North Carolina. And can you send WhatsApp in an email? I will see, this is all the efforts we're trying to make. So anyway, all of this is a wind up to say that I'm learning things, and so is my friend, Stefan Kaplan. So let me bring him on here. Stefan, say hi.
Hey, everybody. How is everybody tonight?
Great. Looking good, Stefan. Let me see your hat. What's the hat say?
It's just a hat. My hair is so out of control from being in the house so much without a haircut for 3 weeks now? Yeah. I'm sorry, but I've become a hat person, and until I get a haircut, I'm all about hats.
Well, I don't have any hair, so it's easier for me.
Well, but if not, I'm going to do that next.
So I wanted to just tell everybody that we wanted to tell them about an exciting thing that you're learning about, and that we wanted to share. And Mark Lee was having trouble with the QR code, so just one more time, I'm just going to show the QR code so people can just get that. That's my new WhatsApp alert. So if you want to take a photo of this, that's another way to know when I'll be up online. So you can do that, my WhatsApp alerts, or just email me and I'll put you on my WhatsApp. Just send me your phone number and I'll add you. I promise that it'll be all very useful information. And you can see that I'm learning how to use Canva, which is a image and design tool called Canva. It's a free product, a freemium product. So let's get right to the exciting news that our friend Stefan Kaplan has a new show that he's launched, and there it is. Yep. And here's the star of Go ahead, Stefan. You can talk about it. I'll leave it up there and you can talk about it.
No, it's fine. Something froze for a minute. So, yeah, I'm really excited, everyone. So, out of every crisis comes so much good. And unfortunately, this is a major crisis. And it's really taken a toll on the photographic community, the photo community, and many people in many walks of life. And I've decided that, I don't have a lot of money to give, but I wanted to give back some way. And I've always been interested in doing my own Spin It Social Hour, as I'm going to call it. But now it's really a labor of love that's born out of care and concern. And this is the time to do it, because I really want to work with I want to have a photographer on every time I have the show. I'm aiming for once a week. We'll see. And talk about their careers, past and present, and how they're dealing with this crisis right now. Because if you think about it, photographers out there who do sporting events, concerts, weddings, everything, you name it, if they're not doing pure editorial work, they're being slammed right now, just like many industries and many people around. And I was downsized 10 years ago in that 2009 massive downsizing in journalism. And I remember the pain, and I remember the, the agony of being downsized and going through all that. So I want to have them on. I want to share their work. I want to talk with them so people know more about them. So the mission is that when this all stabilizes and we get back to some normalcy, it's going to be a while, I think, till we get back to normal period, but it's a new way of life now, but we have to take care of each other and save lives. But it's really about educating people about them, showing their work, so that when this stabilizes, they can then get more gigs and get their work out there more. And also, since you and I, Sree, and our DigiMentors group do what we call, right, social media doctoring, I'm also going to be lending some tips on some of sort of a digital thumbprint analysis for them as they're on, and they're going to contribute some insight, like Nick Curry, who's a wonderful editorial and commercial photographer that's going to be on tomorrow, is somebody who's been through a couple of major traumatic episodes in his life, and he wants to lend his insight and help the community as well with how he copes with things and how he rebounded from things. And each week is going to be a different photographer, ranging from new photographers to Pulitzer Prize winners. The Pulitzer Prize winners, of course, hopefully they have a more established base. I'm sure they're hurting as well, but they can also lend tremendous insight from all of their experience. And as you know, I spent almost 20 years at the New York Times as a photo editor, and I was a freelance photojournalist. So I know about the community. So this is my way of giving back to the visual community as a social media and visual strategist in this world together.
Thank you, Stefan. That was, I'm so excited about the show. Congratulations on it. And how are you going to be doing it? What is the plan? And when can we see it? Remind us of all that good stuff.
Sure. So the plan is it's going to be live streamed via StreamYard, same way you're doing all of your shows. And I'm really looking forward to using the new technology of StreamYard. I worked this promo card up here in Canva in one night. I got Nick to submit his favorite photo. By the way, Nick loves chickens. He has a whole bunch of chickens named many different things. One is peanut butter. Another is, he's got all these great names for them. He's a great guy. And I worked this up, and, it's really about learning this new technology, as you said. And I took the time, and I'm taking the time right now to up my broadcasting skills, because I really believe this is the future. And given my journalism background, my communications background, my love for people and networking, it's the time. This is the time. Like you said, you've lit a fire under my butt and a lot of people's butts. Hey, listen, I tell it like it is. And you've always inspired all of us, and we all love you for that. And it's a great thing in life to be together. And I'll always thank Donatella Lortz for bringing us together. I always say it. 7 years ago now, and best thing that's happened to me in my life.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Tell us about, how is Donnie doing? Where is she? What is she working on?
She's doing great. Donnie's in Maryland now. She's actually teaching at Georgetown. I know, right? Georgetown. She's teaching a course in war correspondence there. As you know, she was based for many years around the world. She was embedded in many conflicts. One of the true early brave women photojournalists out there. That were embedded in many things. And then she also was in Nepal, unfortunately, during that massive earthquake. And that's when I helped her with her communications work that back then, because she had so much going on during the earthquake. Her son was there with her. They were trying to survive. And we became so close. We knew each other already. And then she said, I have to introduce you to Sree, and the rest is history, right?
Thank you. One of the things we're doing is also trying to figure all this out. So StreamYard allows this 2-shot like this,
right,
or 2-shot like this,
right.
And what do you think? What's better? We can even ask our audience if they have.
I like the 2-shot like this, because even though my closets aren't the greatest thing to look at, I'm going to get a good backdrop sooner or later when we're allowed out of the house one day. But the thing is that I think that it's a better, I shoot so much of my photography horizontally. I just look at things with a very wide perspective, because years ago, 2 photographers, Angel Franco from the New York Times who's one of my best buds, and the legendary Dith Pran. Both of them, Angel in particular, told me years ago when I was shooting with a telephoto lens when I was much younger, told me that basically, hey kid, get rid of the lens that you shoot from 3 blocks away with, and get an 18 or 24 millimeter lens and get up close to your subjects. So they're extremely wide, and I've always seen things that way. But as you know, I do a whole series called Just Look Up, where I do a lot of things vertically too. So you change, you evolve as you get more mature, as you get more experience, and your eye changes, and the way you look at things in life changes.
I like that. That's very well explained. Janet says that she likes the 2-shot, but then the 1-shot when somebody's speaking is like television, right? You can get this nice look in here, and you can do a shot like that. And then she also says this is an excellent idea for your podcast. I was going to relaunch my photo media business this spring and summer, but I'm sidelining it for now. Instead, I'm looking at online teaching, including teaching English as a second language. There's a lot of need for that around the world. So John, I wish you the very best as you do that. And we all need to work on something. We're going to do that.
I met Janet through our group, and Janet, about 2 weeks ago, I cold called her on Facebook Messenger because I wanted to meet her. I was around, and I said, you know what? She seems so friendly and so nice. I want to get to know her. Life is so great. She used to work with people that I know, and from the New York Times regional network, and she's a wonderful lady. Has such a cute dachshund. I love dachshunds. And we started talking, and now we're in constant communication, and it's just a wonderful thing. This is a really unusual time. We're all so isolated. That's why I was saying to the doctor on before that social distancing, okay, it's been adopted and we need to make people be aware of it, but physical distancing is what we're really doing. Social distancing, we're all coming together more than ever, in my opinion, because we need each other more than ever right now,
Absolutely. I think we have, one second. I think we have Dr. Vandana Agarwal, who may have, let's see if she's, here she is, doctor. How are you? Thank you for joining.
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so doctor, I think we got our timings a little off. So what we would love to do is to have you on another time. We'll schedule it with a little more notice, but you're on the air right now. Why don't you just tell us where you are right now? How are you doing? Dr. Vandana Agarwal is in California. Please talk to us a little bit and how you're doing, and how is your family doing, please?
I'm in Southern California, Pomona, and I'm in private practice here. And I'm learning the new skill of telehealth, and believe it or not, it's very impersonal. When patients are complaining, I talk to them, but I have no clue without examination. We are unable to take their vital signs, so we really don't know what their blood pressure is or temperature is. And all the essential care like intravenous chemotherapy, we are giving in the office. My nurse has been kind enough to come, but believe it or not, it's very impersonal. Of course, safety is very, very important. So we are trying to be safe and keep our staff safe, patients safe, but you never know. This virus is super contagious. I have several friends of mine who are affected and in intensive care unit. So it's really a challenge.
What is your suggestion for people who are thinking that this will, go away really fast in a couple of weeks? We'll be able to be all like normal. What do you say to them?
Oh, okay.
Oh, there she is, Doc. You're on camera.
Yes, I had turned the video off because anyway, we really don't know when it will go away because it is invisible. Those curves which are being reflected in the media, when you pay attention to it, the data is coming from Italy, France, Spain. None of the data is from here. And our data will be inaccurate because we don't have enough tests. So if we are not tested, how will we know whether we are positive or negative? So I think they are going to, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel they're going to come out with a registry or data after this crisis is over, which everybody will carry to get a job, to board a plane, and it will be interesting. But right now, it is still in the air or by contact, and it is very dangerous virus.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana Agarwal is watching and talking to us from Southern California. We just have her for a few minutes. Just wanted to say,
Yes.
We started the show at 7 p.m. where you could hear the cheering for, we're in Manhattan, so all the noise. What do you feel about, are people more appreciative of doctors and nurses and health aides and the orderlies and all of that than you've seen in recent years?
Of course, everybody is more appreciative, and as a token of appreciation, we physicians have provided pizza, boosts to patients, healthcare workers. We have donated masks. My staff is making cloth masks, and we are distributing that. So yes, they are more appreciative, but it is not the same. This new venture into telemedicine is not a good thing. It may stay for the long haul, but at least I'm not enjoying it.
I understand. And that's because as an oncologist, we were saying earlier to Dr. Gorusu, who is also with us, that there's a lot of touch, right? You're holding the patient's hand when you're talking them through their situation. You're looking to their eyes and reassure them or give them bad news. Those are all things that are really important. By the way,
if they have a lump, if they have a lump, I don't know what kind of lump it is, what tests to do, and no tests are happening because all elective procedures are put on hold. So it's a very big challenge to practice safe medicine.
Thank you. Dr. Atagang, who is watching right now. Thank you, doctor, for joining us.
Okay.
He says physical distancing and connect socially via social media. We have to flatten the curve at all costs. And she says it is not yet time for comprehensive epidemiological analysis. We're still within the case series. So that means it's very early. Is that what she's saying?
Yes, absolutely right. Because the data is, as I told you, extracted from Italy and France and Spain. That does not apply here. And Chinese data we cannot believe. So I'm sure the virus is there. It's super contagious, but we have to be super careful too.
Thank you, doctor. So last thing before I let you go, and I would love to have you back at another time. You look like you've been working all day already. And
of course. I was, we are here in the service industry, yes.
Well, that's so kind of you.
That's why I had my video off, because I don't want to be seen.
Doctor, one of the viewers earlier said, how can we get more leaders like you in front of people? Dr. Fauci, of course, is doing a good job, but how do we get more people out there? What can we do more?
I wish I had an answer for that, but just reaching out and just word of mouth, that's all we can do by sending emails, inviting other physician friends and colleagues. That's all.
Yeah, here's a Facebook comment. Pamela Faison Brown says, very big challenge to practice safe medicine in this environment. She's quoting you, so that's great. So Doc, we'll let you go. What is the first thing you're going to do after the lockdown is over, maybe many weeks or months from now? What are you missing that you were dying to do?
Hug my daughter.
Oh, how wonderful. Where is she, your daughter?
In Virginia. She's finishing her residency in ophthalmology, and her graduation is canceled. So I can't even go for her graduation. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know. My twins are in 11th grade. So we were thinking how sad it would be if you're a senior in college or a senior in high school. It must be really sad. And certainly senior of medical school, you worked so long and so hard.
Yes, and I can't even go there. So I will rush and go and hug her.
Oh, wonderful. What a great image to leave us with, doctor. Thank you so much. We're very grateful. How can people find your practice? I hope they don't need your services, but if they need in Southern California, where can they find you, doctor?
If they Google me, I'm there in Pomona as a Vandana Agarwal Oncology Pomona. They can find me.
Okay, and so that's near LA, so people should know that. So if they want to
Yes,
find a great
Southern
doctor in
California.
LA, in Southern California, they can find Dr. Vandana Agarwal. Thank you so much, doctor. We'll let you go. Have a great.
Thank you, and we'll meet again.
Thank
Okay,
you. Bye bye.
thank you.
Wow, Stefan, wasn't she amazing? Another great.
She's what a energy, and she looks like she's been working since 7 in the morning, and she still has that energy.
Yeah, I know.
She looks great. I mean, I tell you, we take so many people for granted. I don't think we'll ever take them for granted after all of this.
I totally agree, and that's something that we all need to be conscious of. So let's finish up. I gotta go. You gotta go. So we were talking about your wonderful show that you're launching, and
so I'll simply say, so it's going to premiere tomorrow at noon at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on Facebook. You can find me at Stefan Spinnet Social, one word, or you just friend me on Facebook at Stefan Kaplan. I'm like you, Sree. I pretty much, my life is an open, my Facebook page is an open book. I'm transparent. Transparency to me in social media is the best way to go. I do everything that's about the arts and about social media and about life. I don't put a lot of family stuff up there. That's just me. But other than that,
you're very careful about you have a child, and you don't show a single photo of. You talk about him, but you don't even use his name. So it's very clever, I think.
Well, that comes from years of my mother being, a New York City police officer and being one of the first women on the police force back then in '73 to patrol with the men. She just raised me in a way that, she was once years ago in something, and she wouldn't let me be in it. I said, why won't you let me be in this? A TV show, something, whatever it was. And she said, no, because I don't want people knowing what you look like, because if I arrest somebody and they come after you, so I'm in social media. I'm not arresting people, but I just that's a policy my wife and I agreed on a while ago, so.
That's great. Dr. Atagang, who's watching, we'd love to have you on the show, not just on Twitter. So please connect with me. My DMs are open. Please message me at Sree on Twitter. We'd love to connect with you, have you on our show at a convenient time in the days and weeks ahead. So please do reach out. I will follow you also. Dr. Ateghang. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you so much for your service wherever you are. Thank you for watching. So one more time, Stefan, where do they find you, and how can they?
Steph, if you throw that back up there, I'll tell everybody one more time. So it's Stefan Kaplan, Steffen Kaplan. On Facebook, my customized URL is Stefan Spinnet Social. So that's going to be on there on Thursday at noon. And also, if you go to the page and you find my post, and also on LinkedIn, please be sure to share it, because really we have to understand that sharing these days is so important. Liking things is great, and I so appreciate that too, but sharing really gets the information out there. I want to help the photographers out there. I want to do my part that way, and it's going to be a great learning experience. And I hope you get to know these photographers and hopefully bring them work or share them so they get more work, that when we get out of this, they're a lot better off, because, man, it's going to be a long road.
Well, you're going to help them. So thank you, Stefan. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to go thank our sponsors. And I wish you the very best on your show. Give me a fist bump.
Virtual fist bump. Double.
Yeah, virtual. Yeah, there you go. Double. All right. Folks, that was Stefan Kaplan, awesome guy and good friend. And you caught our show today. We're so grateful for you for being here. We have these two great guests on, Dr. Vandana Agarwal and Dr. Madhavi Gorusu. And Dr. Agarwal's promised to come back. We'd love to have her back. We want to thank our sponsors for joining us and for helping us. We want to thank FrontlineFoodTrucks.com. FrontlineFoodTrucks.com is raising money right now to give money to feed doctors through the Frontline Food Trucks, which is the New York Food Truck Association. We are so grateful to Ben Goldberg and his team for putting together this effort. They're raising money to try and raise $500,000, but they had this ad donated to them by a friend, both of us and of them. So what a wonderful way to support me and my project, and to support this nonprofit. So if you would like your own version of this, and by the way, please go to frontlinefoodtrucks.com. If you like my show today, please go and donate even a little bit of money, even $1 or $2, $5, $10. Everything will make a difference, and they'll be grateful, and I'll be grateful as well. If you want to do something like this for your favorite small business, your nonprofit, or an individual you want to just salute, you want to do a wedding announcement, you want to do a birthday gift, birthday shout out, all of that you can do right now. Just email me, Sree at sree.net. Look at these prices. They are insane. As Stefan will remember, there was a guy named Eddie, Crazy Eddie, and they had those ads. So these are crazy ads. Look how low these prices are. And then we want to help our guests by having better, higher production values. And we're also doing really well on, as you can see on social. Look at the hashtag. A very complicated hashtag is having really good traction, Sree Covid19 call. So we really want you to help us by supporting the folks who support us, frontlinefoodtrucks.com. Go and please donate. And the money goes to feeding the hospital workers at NYU Langone and other hospitals because they are running, because the cafeterias are closed. And this also keeps the food trucks busy. It's a wonderful way of thinking about all of this coming together. And I have on the screen a new QR code that you can use right now. If you take a photo of this or zoom in with your iPhone or with your Android on a QR code, you can get a WhatsApp alert whenever I'm live. So that way you'll know that I'm live and you will benefit or suffer from knowing when I'm live. But I have some great speakers coming up, folks. I'm so excited. I cannot tell you. In fact, I will not tell you who they are, but the Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief is coming. One of the biggest Bollywood stars is going to come in. And Tim Sohn says, Sree's sponsorships work. Sign up today. Thank you very much. Dr. Adagang says, community education is vital now more than ever. That is so correct. And we're glad that Dr. Adagang may be able to join us in the weeks and days ahead. I'm just so grateful to everybody for being here. Thank you for being part of our family. We are now live for 27 straight days. That's 27 days of lockdown here in New York. Every day I'm live. I'm so grateful to all of you. I have a spin-off show now on WBAI radio, 99.5 FM, Saturdays, noon to 2. Saturdays, noon to 2. It's called the Coping with COVID-19, a helpful, hopeful show. And it's on Saturdays from noon to 2. It's also on WBAI.org, WBAI.org, or just email me and I will tell you more about it. Please be in touch. Please take care of yourself. Stay home. Even if you want to go out, please don't go out. Please stay home as much as you can. Here is what Dr. Adagang says: physical distancing and connect socially via social media. We have to flatten the curve at all costs. That's a wonderful way of putting it. I want to thank our friends at AAPI, the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, for helping me find our doctors today. And if you have a guest idea, please email me. We'd love to have guest sponsors, anything, Sree at sree.net, SREE at SREE.net. I want to say thank you very much, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Sree at sree.net. Please subscribe on YouTube. That's the best way to know when I'm live. Sreenet on YouTube, SREENET on YouTube. So please do go and find that.